Okay, well, Washington gets tough on credit rating agencies. This week, a series of congressional hearings will look at reforming the companies and hear with his thoughts on how the industry should be overhauled and how he may be affected as someone who runs an independent ratings agency is Sean Egan, president of Egan-Jones Ratings. And Sean, always good to talk with you, and thanks for joining us again.
Thank you, Betty Lou.
And you know, Sean, every time you come on, I always want to ask you this question. I never get a chance to, so I'm going to start off with this.
Good.
Given the bad job, okay, and we know that this is not the first time that Moody's and S&P and Fitch have been under fire. Given the bad job of these three firms, why aren't there more independent agencies such as yours out there?
Because it's a tough business, because the major rating firms suck up a lot of the revenues in the business, and to survive in this industry, you have to be very good and fairly nimble. And we've been at it, we've been issuing ratings since December of 1995, and it's worked out very well. We think as the industry structure changes, there'll be others that'll follow in our footsteps.
That will put in the legwork on that. Then, Sean, okay, then moving on, though, to the regulations or what Washington hopes to do to overhaul these agencies. What do you hope they do? What do you hope that they don't do?
What I hope they do not do, let me start with that, is increase the regulatory burdens on the rating firms, especially the independent rating firms that have a completely different set of variables to work with than the major rating firms. We are paid to get it right. In fact, if we don't issue timely, accurate ratings, we lose subscribers. That's completely different than the other side, whereby the major rating firms are paid to issue as high rating as possible. They're in competition with the other major rating firms, and they're paid by the issuer, so they have a completely different set of dynamics.
Well, what do you hope? Well, you see, but the thing is that, though, that doesn't mean that these rating agencies don't offer ratings that are not good. I mean, if they were always just going to be paid for high ratings, then all you would see are high ratings.
Well, there's a tendency to inflate the ratings. When the investment bankers and the issuers are selecting which firms to pay, it's natural. I was an investment banker for 8.5 years, and it's natural to select the firm that is going to issue the highest rating possible, so it's easier to get the deal done at a reasonable price. Okay. So the dynamics are a little bit different. The biggest issue that you have to worry about from Washington is that they substantially increase regulatory burdens and make it harder for independent firms to get into the market and to exist.
Well, Sean, I mean, that all brings up the question of if you're able to make your model work where you get paid not by the, where you don't get paid by the banks or, the clients that are issuing, that want these ratings, then why isn't that a model that works for Moody's or S&P or Fitch?
Actually, it did work. They had our business model from 1900 or 1910, depending on whether it's S&P or Moody's, up until the mid-'70s. So they are paid by the investors. Made perfect sense. It worked very well for a number of years. It wasn't until the mid-'70s that they switched over to the other side, whereby the incentives got distorted, and that's what's caused the basic problem.
Okay, Sean, always good to talk with you, and I'm sure we'll be talking more about the rating agencies and the overhaul going on in Washington. Sean Egan of Egan-Jones Ratings.